Hi, everyone. I am Dee. Welcome back to another episode of Spiritually Speaking. Today, I have with me Michael Ford, and he doesn't know this, but I call him Angel Michael. So, Angel Michael, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here.
Dee, great to see you again. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And you have a kind of a unique approach to angels that I've never encountered before. So, I'd love for you to just dive in and tell us how you got into this and what it all means to you and what it could mean to those who are listening today.
Sure. So, hey, everyone across the planet's got a big heart. It's not always easy with day-to-day living. My problem is, my drama is, my situation is, or my obstacles are. We all have to pay the bills, especially in this economy. But I believe that everyone's got a big heart. Anybody who's just willing to pump the brakes a little, slow down this much, talking only 7% less thinking a day, has got like Marvel superpowers. And by that, I mean basic listening, seeing, hearing, feeling. If I skipped it or repeated it, so be it. But you can literally see, chat with angels, your loved ones as well. But you got to own the angels part first. But figures from India, if you like Native American chiefs, fine. Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Plato. It's one big enchilada of love in the universe. Even some galactic figures like, this is going to stretch some people's imaginations, but a Pleiadian, Arcturian, Lyran, fairies exist. Look, I've been doing this 13 years. I certainly ran for the hills if a fairy existing, Plato existing. It took me 6 months to process that. This is 13 years ago. Now I'm kind of like just rolling with it. It's like getting hit by a wave by you in the Gulf. You're on the beach line and the wave comes up. You didn't know, you get tumbled around. Hey, you got to roll with it. So everyone's got a big heart. There's a little more kindness, gentleness, compassion. And here's the message. You can have any answers to any of your questions for daily living, all direct, all languages spoken, all dialects. I don't see your questions. I don't see your answers. And you don't even need me. Just start listening a little more to the universe. You'll consider it your heart or your intuition. But look at it this way. If you're a golfer, you're going to know what I'm talking about. If you've been in a tournament or a runner, you've got that little inner voice when it's positive. Sometimes you're like in the last kilometer of a 10K. And for those who are racers, you hear, let's pick it up. Like, I've got some juice today. I think I can gain a couple spots. Half the time, that little voice, when it's positive, it might be your grandmother or an angel or your higher self, your soul. And you would freak out if your grandmother's voice actually came in. So give this all a break. Don't worry about the spirituality thing. Don't worry about angels. My big thing to leave you with is simply, what are you allowing for daily without the woo-woo, the spiritual, the angel stuff? Probably no different than a week ago. And that probably means it's more rinse, repeat. You go to work, you do your thing, you try to recover, and then you repeat it all again. I'm just here to remind you there's a lot more to be had. You can be laughing more, smiling more, walking a smoother path, having a better time. And I didn't know about any of this when I worked in New York City. This is, 18 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we can have so much more. It's right there. What do you think holds people back from exploring it and allowing it to come in?
Same thing that connects us all. We've all got a connection here, and I'll just call that the slipstream of joy or consciousness or awareness or love or humanity. But we all have some of this too, which is the rat race, thinking, resisting, rejecting, fear, worry, stress. I could keep going on. It's the unconsciousness, the lack of awareness. It's the stuff that thinking pulls you out of love. It's a
Yeah,
momentary lack of compassion. As soon as this interview is over, I'm going right back to lots of thinking. And we do it all day long. We
yeah,
also do a lot of stuff unconsciously where we're not up here. And the ego, the psyche, the brain, yeah, the intellect doesn't worry about some little stuff. If you go to flip a light switch, you're not beating yourself up a week later. Did I do it right? Or brushing
right.
your teeth. Did I miss this left molar? And did you lose 8 nights of sleep over it? No. But if it's work related or a bill or the mortgage, yes, you're going to lose sleep. So somehow there's a controlling factor up here that's in the driver's seat. And once you realize what this flow is about, like Star Wars, dark side of the force, light side of the force,
Mm,
once you realize what this is about, it's like a hot stove. Once you figured out that love is pretty shiny, infinite. I'm not saying you can't be a great business person, great athlete. Think about Scrooge in Christmas Carol. It's a 79-page book, but the animated Disney version, the black and whites, it's such a short story. The beginning of the movie or the book, we all agree the guy was the biggest jerk in the world. He's
right.
dental floss for connection to life. Money, money, money. we forget that the end of the story, he's the greatest joy bringer, still a good businessman. And you and I would cross the street to go say hi to him because he
Right.
has this huge energy field. He relaxes you. You feel good talking to him. That's all of us. We're all Scrooge at the beginning and end. Any given day, just check the hour. Did the boss just visit your cubicle and are you stressed to the max? You're probably the Scrooge at the beginning of the book. So be aware of where you're putting yourself. You have more ability to choose what feels good, and where you put your energy or where you put your focus is where you put your focus. How you spend your energy is how you spend your energy. Two of the big things I've learned in 13 years.
Yeah, very good. Absolutely. And you said when you first got into this angel thing that it was a little out there and far-fetched for you. You didn't use those words. Those are my words. How did it start for you and how did it change your life from what it was and to what it is now?
Sure. Well, I'd say I've always been kind of high vibe in life as a kid and stuff like that. Just kind of cutting my own path. Got through 4 years of boarding school at Phillips Academy, Andover, Middlebury for 4 years, but a year in Paris. Don't know how I got through any of that actually. First job was on Wall Street for 2 years in New York City, probably around 93 to
Wow.
95. And I looked at 24, I looked like I was 14 if I'm 56 now. Always looked younger. I lost every client face to face. So I knew I had to get out of the business and get into something else where the horsepower here worked. So I ended up in public relations, and my final in-house spot was around, I'm going to say 2005 to 2009, and it culminated in the Lehman crisis. I was in-house top public relations guy. I got into public relations business at a $1 billion law firm where Lehman was one of their, $50 million a year account. And we had gone through 3 stealth layoffs as the whole world was imploding with Lehman. A hair salon in Iowa thought it was going out of business. We thought we were maybe going to go out of business. In a third stealth round of layoffs, 72 of us got an hour's notice, and I was told I was being let go, which was the best news for me ever. Almost did the Toyota jump for joy. I was making $230,000 a year. I was working nonstop, happy as a pig in mud. Talked to everybody. Everybody thought in New York that I was from California. I think at the peak, I personally set up 1,100 media interviews in a single year. Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, Fortune, CNN, back when the media was like reasonably normal. Um, and so something was up. I had a chance to finally move to Austin, Texas, where I bought a home and a chance to leave New York. I was always sort of like Kurt Russell, eye patch, snake, if anybody remembers Escape from New York. It's impossible to leave what you know. We could be talking a relationship because it's comfortable. We could be talking spirituality itself because you know something's up, but you've never had a chance to take that chance, a leap of faith, religious faith, non-religious faith. It's the same getting out of here to here. It could be sports. You're just afraid to take it to the next level. You're a painter. And so I'm going to quote Story Musgrave, the NASA astronaut, getting out of the comfortable path. That's what exploration is all about. Half of us don't even know there's a path. We're just taking one step at a time, but in an unconscious way, not an allowing conscious way. So getting to Austin, Texas, stuff started to happen. I enter a home that's, lightly decorated, but I have always lived on the East Coast, 42 plus moves. I didn't know how to fill a house. I've always lived in apartments for my adult life.
Mhm.
And I had a shaman come in, started hearing and seeing and feeling, and a bunch of little things that happen. But I got a prescription from the shaman: fill the walls, get cooking smells going, get plants, learn to get a green thumb or two. So I started growing plants outside, inside, and kind of had my ass kicked a little bit just in terms of understanding there is something called spirituality. The universe is really big. It ain't about thinking and what you know. That's going to get you this far. And it usually takes a car wreck, divorce, job loss, all the above at once, or something else, illness, to pop
Yeah.
you out of thinking long enough to go, what am I doing? I should be here and be following my heart more. And that's kind of the message also is you've got a big heart. It knows what to do. It's already an Olympic medalist. Pick a sport, swimming, and you have to just actually get out of here and back into the pool.
Yeah. Oh, that was beautifully said. Beautifully said. We already know what to do. We just don't do it right.
Well, and then it would take a lot of effort to get you in front of a mirror. If you go in front of a mirror, can you say, I love you? And then can you do it again? And then it's like the old 70s or 80s Tootsie Pop commercial with an owl, and there's some kid licking the thing. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Yeah.
How many times do you have to say, I love you into the mirror? before either you crack because you're holding on to the trauma of a deceased relative from 10 years ago, or you were got left at the altar. You know, the wife, the husband to be didn't show, or something happened that prevented you from living from that point on, and you're holding back. You got
Mhm.
all this stuff, baggage on your shoulders. So
Mm.
if you can say I love you like 900 times, I guarantee you don't have a problem left on the planet. You're also going to take 9 hours to say I love you. But like by I love you number 50, you might be starting to tear up or cackle and laugh like a crazy person because you're like, this is the coolest thing in the world. I feel like I'm at a concert. I really do love myself. I'm so full of self love. Come here, Fido. I love you too. And then the dog's wagging its tail and you're having a good time, but you feel your vibe go up. There's something to all this that, again, you don't have to worry about angels just yet, but they're with you all the time. You're never alone. You're always heard. You're never judged. So don't worry about it. You're naked in the shower talking to them. You're okay. They don't care. And
Yeah.
they do care. And you don't need to know anything. You've got it's basic listening, basic feeling. Get a hug. Hugs can become healing. Some stuff's written, some stuff's not. Again, what do you think the little voice has been? I'm here to try to remind folks that you got this. And then back at that house, when I was a little nervous about everything, I grabbed a Sure Shot camera because, hey, I'm a red blooded American. Who wouldn't? I started taking photos of angels, fairies, Play-Doh over my house, in my house, light, not just one way, light energy form, but if it's Archangel Michael, I got him like 3 different ways. So it's not about the photos in one sense, but they sure are great stepping stones. They're all over my website. They're in my little Listening to Angels book on Amazon. They're great for just getting you out of your head, out of your own way, to trust that angels could exist. They'll move, they'll change color. You'll see a face in a ball of light. I'll just put one up right now. If you're just listening, you're fine. Go check out the website. Here's a fairy, just in case you think balls of light are orbs. That's a really popular concept. But I got all different shapes, sizes, colors, and that's what they come in with, all sorts of backgrounds from all over. Everyone has a guardian angel, including your dogs. This isn't about any religion or non-religion thing. It's you're good if you're an atheist, agnostic. Do you want to get any answers to any questions for anything except for your neighbor's business? You get laughed at and told to move on if you're asking something that's out of your boundaries there. So what's cool about this is usually people are a little curious. They're like, well, I could use career help or where to go on vacation. I think that's number one. In this economy, maybe how to pay for that vacation would be number two, or how to justify taking the time off. But everybody needs a good vacation. I think that's so important. It's part of self-love. And so this comes back to, what are you allowing for? So are you just driving to work like a bat out of hell, totally stressed out, totally forgetting to say hi to your plants, your dog, say goodbye to your dog? Do you come into your house first thing from the shift on the phone talking away while your dog has been waiting all day to see you?
Yeah.
Or are you first putting your phone down and saying, I love you, Fido, or the cat? Um, and that's kind of the barometer. Are your window shades up, or are they down like most of us have closed off their house? How are you living? Are you taking time to make a special meal for you or for others? Are you talking to people? Are you waving to a random stranger for absolutely no reason at all? And I'm going to throw the final wrench into our Tour de France cyclists bike here, because all of you are Tour de France cyclists. You're Mark Cavendish. I don't want to name anybody else, but you're Mark Cavendish and you don't know it. You've got like huge muscles down there and you know what you're doing. Here's the wrench. You can be happy now in this very moment for no reason whatsoever. And
Yeah.
now you're going to meet your ego, your brain, your intellect, because it's going to say, but what about? I'm being sued. I'm about to lose my job. But.
Hmm.
And that's the difference. There's something up here that wants to control everything and I'm getting like stress on this. Whoa. So there's stress reacting. You feel heavy here. And then there's like, I'm happy and I don't even care. Who knows it?
Yeah. Yeah. It scares people. I mean, it really scares people when you're that happy and you're that bubbly. I actually did a little social experiment on that exact thing one time walking into work. I walked into work one morning and everyone I greeted, I was smiled real big and said good morning very brightly. And I actually had people move away from me, like they thought something was wrong with me. And then the next day I went in and I like just kind of kept my head down and just kind of grumbled morning to them, and everyone greeted me. Like they didn't move away. It was like, yes, that right there, that kindred spirit thing. Like, but the happiness scared them. It's weird to me that happiness scares people.
There's a movie, Peaceful Warrior. It's a gymnastics movie. It looks like it's been made by Disney, but it hasn't. It's Dan Millman's story. The book is Way of the Peaceful Warrior. It's his life in the late 60s at Berkeley. He's on the rings, and he is number one in the world for doing an extra couple of turns on the rings.
Mhm.
He wins the NCAAs later, goes to the Olympics, doesn't win a gold or anything. But he gets into a motorcycle accident. He's told he's never going to walk again. He comes all the way back. So there's a kind of, the heroic journey there,
Yeah.
but it's more like a Karate Kid story, an adult version. And there's a Mr. Miyagi figure. He's the gas station attendant. So that's Nick Nolte at his best, one of his best film roles ever. Scott Meklowitz plays the gymnast. Amy Smart is in the film as well, if people know the blonde actress. Really well done. But the point of this is it's more of a spiritual movie. It's more of a all of us movie. There's a bunch of deleted scenes that are just as good. But at one point, they talk about this place is the last place anyone wants to go. It's all considered to be external. The whole odyssey that you're on is external. You don't realize that
Yeah.
it's you the entire time, filtering, blocking, generating the storms for your boat. And it's a hard concept, but it's also been repeated in many other like modalities or books. Seth from the 1970s and people like New Age, the light being, tons of stuff from Jane Roberts talks about the only place you can go is through the world you knew, all those details into your heart, into a broader reality. And many
Yeah.
angels will remind you the only place you can get your own answers is here.
Mhm.
And then again, that's the scariest thing. And then who's it scary to? Not you. Your ego, your intellect, your brain that has control over everything. It's in the driver's seat of the jalopy. And it doesn't want to let go of the steering wheel. You got to take away the keys from grandpa and just ask it to gently move over or put it in the back seat. Watch what happens when you start following your heart. You start making better decisions. Synchronicity, serendipity kicks in, which is just the way the universe will greet you. And if you need proof of it, which I don't like saying it that way, there's nothing you need to have for proof. It's not the way the universe works. Just set your intent on something small. Hey, I could use more humor this week. Watch what truck comes by as you're sitting at a red light and it's got the funniest expression on the side of the truck, just what you were talking about the night before dinner, or flowers left on your doorstep or something. Just ask for more. I don't know. Je ne sais quoi. Ask for more excitement. Ask for more fun. Ask for interesting people to come into your path. And in fact, let's go absolutely crazy here. You can see angels in full on human form. Yes, you can pinch them. They might not laugh or say ouch, but when they pinch you, you say ouch. And you can have a cup of coffee with them. That is a pretty extreme suggestion, but people are doing it. It's back to what we allow for. Good luck with any of that.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so true too. And it is the going inside. And it's so funny you said that we control everything. And well, I don't know if you use the word control, but um we're kind of creating the reality that we're in all the time. And it's so funny. I had a conversation with one of my friends the other day, and she was telling me this situation at work. And before I could even say anything, because she knows how I am, she goes, and I didn't manifest that crap either. And I go, okay. Because like you totally did. Because right after that, she goes, I just knew it was going to happen. Well, there you go. Right there, you said it. You knew it was going to happen. So you made a plan for it. You made room for it. So it had no choice but to come in.
We're all incredibly talented. If you look back in life, you can have angels fill in the gaps, why certain things went down the way they did. I'm
Mhm.
not kidding that there's like no limits on the questions, 99.9%. I think Australians, New Zealanders are pretty much, in my mind, tops at it. They're very much like, let's go. What are we waiting for? Canadians are pretty good. People from India, some. The record is 9 hours of listening, 49 or 48 pages of answers. I just check in every 2 hours. I'll hold somebody's hand to just open up. This is opening openness. If anybody likes the Buddhist, Zen, Tibetan Buddhism expression,
Yeah.
it's always been there. As a kid, you knew it. As a kid, you're like, I'm going to climb 3 branches up in the tree. As an adult, you'd be like, what tree? Or I better not. Or
Yeah.
I got to be doing emails for work right now. You're not having as much fun as you did as a kid for most people who had, fun kid childhoods. So think back to the happiest point in a person's life, wherever that is, that 10 years, the 5 years I was a salesman over there. Every time I made a call, I got a yes. Why is that? It's not externally driven. And again, you can be happy now in this very moment for no reason whatsoever, is the same as every sales call I make, I get a yes. It's already a fait accompli. But as soon as I pick up the phone, voila, done. I'm doing a lot of French today. So look, you have no limits. I'm like the Geico commercial. You have no limits. You have no limits. And then there's Pinocchio. You have, well, look, it's whatever you allow for. And there's a lot of us that are like way up here. So for most of us, just taking a deep breath, absolutely for no reason, deep breath. We're breathing all the time. That's, according to Mother Teresa, compassion is like a deep breath for many. It's the closest we're going to get to slowing our roll. Some of us will butter the roll. A few more will put it in the microwave or oven, whatever you do with the roll, and enjoy it. So it's each moment is your opportunity for growth. There's not as much past and future as you think. Don't get hung up on your achievements or failures. Don't get hung up on perceived tasks, roles. I mean, yeah, you got to do stuff. You got to mow the lawn. If you haven't figured out a way to enjoy the lawn mowing, fine. But get through the task, disconnect from love, life, your life force, and get it done, and then come back to being present here. As soon as you figure out the difference between down here and up here, you're off to the races. And so there's really something to it. An angel at the end of my book in the appendix, this is an angel who coached an Olympic athlete who won a lot of golds in the late 70s or 80s. People would know the name. That angel named Dale described life in a metaphor of an undergraduate degree and a graduate degree. And the concept is you got to have one before you can have the other. Master's before graduate. I wouldn't have known that. The master's degree is, again, understanding there's a difference between thinking and awareness, or love, or timelessness, or consciousness. We'll keep calling it whatever you want to call it. Every philosophy, religion, if you haven't noticed, Consciousness Institute has a different way of describing it. And more awareness, consciousness is coming in. I don't care if it's the kids, the 20-year-olds, even the 80-year-olds. It's already here. So you just have to pay attention this much more. And then what's up here, it's the whole fear, stress, thinking anything is what pulls you out of the flow, the force from Star Wars. And pretty soon I'll do Yoda's voice just to make the point, but maybe I'll blow some sage for folks. And by that, I'll light some sage and blow smoke. And wherever you are, whenever you're watching this, you can catch sage smoke through two screens. The point is that everything is energy. Everything is light. You can see auras off my hands. We'll do that in a second after the sage. You can catch sage, the smell, through two screens. But why not ask for flowers? We're so limited in the way we roll when we do thinking. It wouldn't even occur to us. You'd think that I'm smelling the sage here. And of course, Dee's going to be the guinea pig and has already done this before the show. And she did it the last 1 or 2 times we've talked. But you'll watch her have the reaction. But your brain's still going to be judging all this and saying, she didn't just smell sage. And then you're going to catch sage and be like, wait, what? And then why wouldn't you go ahead and roll with it and ask for the sage, ask for flowers, and ask for ocean smell, even if you live in Arizona? Yeah. And I was just helping somebody in Arizona a couple hours ago who got 5 different flowers. So long story short, you have no limits. You're not using the concept of no limits. Instead, most of us are looking at our shoe tips. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer with 19 PhDs and a laboratory, somehow you're a scientist as well, and you're acclaimed. You've got the best business for 19 years, 25 New York Times bestsellers. It doesn't mean you're not also having the most amount of fun ever. There's people doing that and having fun. But a lot of us allow our roles to completely obliterate our potentiality. And so you have a unique life path. And that was the second part of that appendix by that angel named Dale. You got an undergraduate degree, a master's degree. Once you figure out, the master's degree is figuring out the difference between here and here. It's not fun being up here. When you think about hugging the dog, you don't give a hug to the dog. When you think about mowing the lawn, you don't mow the lawn. When you think about whatever it is, it's not the act. Here's where all the action happens, no thinking. And that's the only place you're going to care about on your last breath. And whatever life review does or does not happen on your last breath of your life, anything that happened here was fun, cool, good memory. Nothing up here was really worth it. Now, you're still going to do thinking. Don't beat yourself up. Don't start pointing the finger at other people. We're in a very divisive age these days. I'm about to go back to thinking in 1 hour. Yeah. But once you're done with the undergraduate degree, you're about to realize your unique life path, your passion, and what you should be doing. And the universe will step in and help you get right back on track. You never skipped a beat or lost a step or missed an opportunity. There's no such thing. The
Right.
time is always now. Hope is always here. Possibility is always here. Should I light some sage?
Yes, I think that'd be great.
Okay. So at home, if I've only got one bit of rule or structure for anything, I'm going to look vacuous and vapid and blank. It's really easy. Set your intent. There we go. Just set your intent. What's that look like before you step on a tennis court? What are you doing? A lot of colleges, universities teach their kids, their tennis team members, varsity, collegiate athletes. There we go. To touch a tree first, to ditch their worldly stresses. Thank you, tree. Send it into the earth, and then set your intent. Hey, I'm the best tennis player for the next 2 hours. Let's do it. I'm here. Yoda. Your intent for you is really easy. Just ask angels, universe to get you out of your head, into your heart. Throw in some religious figures if you're religious: Jesus, Mary, Buddha, Muhammad, Sai Baba, Sri Shardi Sai Baba from India. So angels, get me out of my head, into my heart. Help me smell some sage. Thank you. Amen. Rock and roll. Om Sai Ram. Whatever works for you. But do it more often before you enjoy a meal. Go for a walk. Watch what happens when you get used to dropping into your heart. That's all this is. Leave your eyes on the smoke. Allow for some sage to come through. I'll do Yoda's voice right now, and you laughing, letting go, and thinking it's ridiculous is good enough for letting go. Do not. There is no try, but there's burned forefinger. Flame was hot, man. I just caught my finger. So let go. What will you allow for? No try, Yoda. Ouch. Leave your eyes on the smoke. Let some sage come through. If you need extra help, don't do this forever, though. Put your hand on your heart, close your eyes. That's fine. And then go for the triple-tiered tiramisu dessert, no calories. First level is just sage. Duh, you're looking at sage. Second level is flowers. Why not? But get something exotic. Be like, yeah, I'll take tulips. I'll take wisteria. I'll take protea. South African just got it yesterday. Homeland, flower back in South Africa. And then hear ocean waves if your eyes are closed. See the beach. Smell the ocean. Catch Bora Bora, not boring. Fiji, Bethany Beach, whatever's your favorite beach. How far letting go wise would you be willing to go? I don't know. Play this over later. Make sure you subscribe, like Dee's show, most importantly. Public service announcement. I did it for you. Check is in the mail. So let that be what it is. Feel what you can feel. Do not judge. We all judge. I'm going to judge as soon as I turn on the TV, put on any news station. You're finished. You're cooked. Your goose is cooked. So this is more about walking a smoother path. You got no limits. It doesn't help anyone to hear that from someone else. So you're the one who has to discover your own inner fearless, peaceful warrior. This incredible trek journey that is not up some great mountain, but you think it is. It probably is. And even Nietzsche talked about your ego being the dog that follows in your shadow up the big mountain. You've got an ego, but you got to kind of shed it at least for 5 minutes a day, just to enjoy the beautiful views at the top of the mountain. That's here. That's finding home in Buddhism. That's when all the good stuff comes tumbling in. Your book idea. It's why all the creative ideas. You're in some sort of a creative job or just world. Showers, walking the dog, in the pool. The good ideas always come when you're in water and you can't get a piece of paper and pencil to record
That's true.
Oh, it totally is. That's why you got to have an assistant by the pool with pen and paper ready to go. Take notation.
That's a great idea. It is true. But water's such a good conduit for allowing because we're washing away all the gunk and we're allowing all of the new stuff to come in, even if we're maybe not aware of that's what's happening. That's why we all feel so good after we get out of the shower, right? But yeah, if you do have
And here's an
communications.
angel who's light waves of energy and water, Pacific Princess. Complicated name, so don't worry about it. It's Min, like Minnesota, Lakota Sioux word for water. But literally, I've got a show, and there's a doctor coming out on August 30th in the show who met this angel in her own life. So here, I think, this is my guardian angel. There's 80,000 of us or more that have her as our guardian angel. This guest, before the show, meets her and says, that's my guardian angel. And that's the angel when she was 11 in bed, or 10 or 9. Watch the show. There's an angel in white, like a Hallmark movie moment, shows up. And the little girl at that point, from then on, knows she wants to be a doctor. Now, she's doing the interview and she's retired as a physician. So she's done her whole life as a physician, retired now, sharing this with us. And then I'll just leave it this way. If anybody's got the guts, just set it out there in an open-hearted, from the heart way. Hey, I'd love to meet some angels in human form, full-on human form. If I'm walking on the beach, why wouldn't I want to meet a sparkly-eyed stranger who has the best life advice for half an hour? Make it 45 minutes. I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah.
And maybe one of the guests has done that. What will you allow for? Maybe it's more back to the rat race and complaining about this person, that person. How do you want to spend your energy? This is like the big casino in the sky is a lot of fun to gamble in.
Yeah.
Probably not the right way to say it. That's okay.
Well, I think that'll reach
Exactly.
some people for sure. They'll be like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. If you want, I will put this up as a background, but Blue Sky is number one. I'll do the thing out of the movie Celestine Prophecy, but as another guest on my show said, who was around in the 70s, she said, nah, we were doing this energy thing before that movie existed. And then I'm going to throw everybody under the bus and be like, in India, they do it this way. But because I got to stand, it's awkward to do it this way. You can see the light between my fingers. It's just, how does everyone know that they've got this flow of energy? Well, athletes, when they're in the flow state, the zone, they know they're on fire. And that's when the running back just zigzags and runs 100 yards back and gets the touchdown. You hit a couple winners in tennis. Everyone knows when they're on fire. It's Yahtzee. You did backgammon. You did 4 doubles in a row. And you're crushing. The poor kid is in tears. I know. It's horrible. So the point is, we all have that flow in us, but how do you tap it more? You can't do it through thinking. That's when you shank the golf ball. So that's what this is. Give yourself a break. You're seeing with your heart. You're doing the Zen thing, seeing without seeing. And
Yeah.
you'll see white, gold, green, yellow, blue, and you get a dad joke. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen, and Dancer, just those two. Why do they drink so much coffee, Blitzen and Dancer? Because they're Santa's Starbucks. See a little filament of light flow. What do you see, D?
I see it's gold this time, that gold thread.
Yay. And then if anybody at home wants to take a deeper breath or shake their hands or do something to go loosey-goosey, that's you opening up more, and see if an extra color comes in. I'll also try to go back on a surf trip bodyboarding. And I just breathed extra. See if do you catch any extra light now?
White.
Okay, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And if you really want to go crazy to prove, because we're not here to prove anything, and that's a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
You have to trust and you have to just go for the experience. Those who are trying to measure it are up here, and it's just not the same. It's like saying you're going to get on the tennis court and play tennis, and you're not. You're just trying to talk about it, which is what we all do for everything. I don't know. If you can just let go more, you're going to see more. But you can have angels actually make you a little heart or fireworks coming out of that stream of light. And if you have a loved one and they do it individually, you do it individually, you guys are bandmates together or cooks together in a nice kitchen, you get along. Or it's husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriend. You can each be half the glow stick and see your flow between you. And keep extrapolating out. You can put your hands up and see the flow from 10 fingers to 10 fingers. Maybe you can only do it this far at first. And if you want to be complete dork and you're worried about any of this, just do this with a friend that you trust and be like, oh yeah, I feel the heat on the skin. Duh. And then you're like, yeah, I feel the heat from the skin the normal way. But at some point, is it 3 feet, 2 meters, 10 feet away? At some point, it's energy because you're like, wow, there's no way I'm feeling it the normal way. I'm actually feeling it because
Yeah.
suddenly I'm like, whoa, I'm like Yoda, I'm a Jedi. You can go all the way a football field, a Walmart, a Target, department store apart and feel it. And then if you want to drink the Kool-Aid, you can see it. You can see the light streaming. And if you got a really happy couple who's been married for 30, 35 years, they can see their light not just flowing through the hands, but heart to heart. And if you're at a performance, next time you're watching bandmates, and you really like the band, first notice the bass guitar. They're always the most chill. Bass guitars light on them. You can see auras on your dogs, trees, the band. You can see the flow. This is when they're getting along. They haven't been fighting all night. They're not on drugs. They're just flowing artistically together. Ballerinas on stage. Pick something. You can let go to see it. It's how you're already operating. You go to buy milk in the supermarket. Last 30-second quick story. You go to buy milk in the supermarket, but you still got to get the vegetables. And there's 2 guys arguing by the milk. And you're like, what? I don't need to be near that. I better go get the vegetables. They'll be gone by the time I'm back. It's your internal guidance system. It's your little voice. It's your angel, your grandmother, whoever, your higher self, your soul. Who cares? You just know there's a proper flow, and you can see negativity as well, but that's a waste of time. So, I
Mm.
mean, there's plenty of that. So, where you put your focus, cultivating a more authentic you, the one that never went away from whenever you thought that peak period was in your life, and watch what happens. The universe responds immediately, just about immediately. If you're in a pickle, a pinch, a bind, and so on, you might need a week to clear out of all your gunk and your,
Mhm.
drama.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want, put up a couple photos. I got a fairy, Ginger, my guardian angel, Min.
Mm.
There's Joy. She's the very first angel people meet. I'll keep her around. Charlotte, everybody's favorite school teacher from childhood, and Archangel Michael. But let me show just a couple more that are different so we don't get caught with orbs. Here's a Claire, by the way, who's resilience, one of my dog's guardian angels.
Mm.
Here's Plato. You can see the old man's face in there.
Yeah.
Put it down here. No hugs for him. They're sweaty. And finally, here's like four archangels: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. It's a long story. I just grabbed a Sure Shot camera in a complete panic, but I used to hand the camera to folks: daytime, nighttime, indoors, outdoors. One angel can be shot different ways, light energy form. Who really cares when you can just look out your window into your yard and see him standing there? And if you're nervous about it, it's a whole Walmart parking lot away. If you're comfortable, I mean, heck, it could be your kitchen table in human form having knocked at your front door. It depends where you fall on the whole worried about it, cool with it scale. But here's Joy. People can put their hand out and treat her like a fireplace, but not fire. Energy, high vibe, sparkles.
Yeah.
Feel what you can feel, don't judge. If you need help, ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart. And then ask for a flower smell. I'm going to give you like 6 balls. How about 5 balls to juggle? The brain's going to want to bat down one or two of them because you're like, no way, not possible. But the rest of it gets through. So catch a flower smell. Ask for some beach smell as well. Maybe wind in your hair. Ask her a question. Leave your eyes on her. Let her do her job. Joy, what do I need to know in life right now? If you're worried about this, you're going to hear breathe. If you're already like, no, I need to know about Tuesday's conference, then you're already getting answers because you're off to the races. What have you been doing your whole life when you talk to yourself and the universe? This is just the universe coming in more available today than ever before. Mankind's ready for a little more compassion for all, kindness, gentleness. It doesn't mean you can't do good business. And if you want to see her move, pulsate, whatever, or you want to look up where the ceiling meets the wall and see like little silver flecks of light, like fish breaking the surface of the water, a pink heart, pink shooting star, green moons, clovers, like Lucky Charms. You can see whatever way she wants to show. I mean, I think pretty much by now she's been every color. I'll give you one quick war story, but this isn't about Vietnam, so it's a peace story. I'm at a bookstore, I don't know, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. The woman's done everything just fantastic. Somehow I've got an observer who's also done everything and is cool, and the woman's cool with having a second person there. But she gets to the point where she's supposed to look up and see, and she's really nervous. There's people all over the bookstore, and she's having trouble with that. Joy shut off the lights in the bookstore where only the three of us saw the power go out. Everyone else had the lights on and was walking around uninterrupted. The three of us were like, what? And then she started laughing hysterically because she was stuck. And we're all stuck. We're stuck all the time. Stuckness versus suchness, if I use a Buddhist term. You can meet Buddha, Kuan Yin, Thich Nhat Hanh, Chogyam Trungpa. A Jin is East Asian mysticism. It's no one culture or religion. It's probably them all. You meet Elvis, Debbie Ford, blah, blah, blah. So she started laughing hysterically and then got shoved over the fence and saw 2 seconds later. The brain wants to say but. If it starts with but, it's generally the brain or ego or intellect trying to throw tacks under your Tour de France bicycle. Yeah, you're too smart for that. Bunny hop over the tacks. Keep going. Geronimo says it best. He steals the show. Ride, 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 ride. Don't look left. Don't look right. Don't look behind. That's your horse. It took me a week because I'm not too quick on the uptake, but I'm really a fast teacher. The horse is your heart. Follow your heart. Grab the mane. You don't need a saddle. You already know how to ride like a professional jockey. Ride, ride, ride your heart. Watch how fast your ship gets righted, realigned, and properly moving in the ocean. You're no longer in turbulent waters.
That is beautiful. I love that so much. And it's so interesting that you said that because I've been like being led more in my heart chakra anyway. So that just is a reaffirmation for me personally. So that's really beautiful. And I'm sure that there's other people out there as well who really, really felt that just then when you said that. So thank you.
And if you want to do a couple steps, you and I'll read a really cool chillax statement that's for all of us as we go out and about during the day. Good luck with this. It's from Dale again, and it's a really easy thing. And then we'll put our hands up and just feel the vibe through two screens. Impossible, right? We were talking about just doing it this way. Like if you
Right.
run into a friend at Target, yeah, and then this and this and this and all the rest. But now we're through two screens, and people do it at home. I've got to mention this. It's only your highest self, your highest intent, not our drama rama,
Right.
not our problems. What problem is just our highest intent. Let angels filter out, so it's just love and above. Okay, here comes this really easy quote that I think is as good as you can be happy now for no reason whatsoever. Sometimes the person next to you or a stranger just needs validation via love and compassion. A smile changes any moment. So too does laughter or a few kind words. Be compassionate to all, do it. And let's flip that pancake one more time and say, how can we be compassionate to ourselves? We all go through rocky patches for a year or two. Some of us can go 40 years without a glimmer of hope. It depends. We're humans. We are awfully ingenious at blowing ourselves up. Practice a smile even in the mirror. I mean, maybe I love you is too much. Do a smile. Do something.
Yeah.
Just practice laugh, watch comedy. Find a way to make those walks count where you're like, it is kind of peaceful here. Look at the water, look at something. I put on ocean videos. My Tranquility is the name of the YouTube channel. It's got two E's at the end of Tranquility. They're out of Anguilla, Louise and Nori, I think. I just invited them on the show here.
Nice.
They've got the most beautiful ocean videos for 6 to 8 hours at a pop. Leave that on instead of CNN or Fox or MSNBC or whatever
Yes.
and watch. Okay, I'll put my hand up, feel the vibe, but only our highest intent. Make a circle, don't make a fire for folks at home. Dee hasn't done this in 20 years since she was 5. Okay, here we go. Put your hand up, feel what you can feel, only your highest intent. Breathe through your mouth is my unofficial rule. And by that, I just mean millimeter or two. Everyone shuts their mouth every 50 seconds to try. And this works in tennis or running just as much as anything else. Do you feel a little sparkle, a little something? Describe, if you would, for your audience. What are you getting?
I feel like it almost feels like there's little fireworks, little like sparklers on my hand.
I didn't do it. Let's blame Joy just for the heck of it, or blame Canada, whatever works for folks at home. I'm going to whoosh rainbow light. We're going to blame lots of angels here. Archangels, 4 of them, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, and 1,000 others. Everyone watching is guardian angels kicking into gear. Feel a little rainbow light, but feel it up and down your back. I'll do a little one first. Catch a little Hawaii in the air because you're in Florida and you know the difference.
Yes.
What'd you just get, D?
Well, I got a little shiver up my spine, and it's kind of like this want with and on my hand.
I'll do one more, but go big or go home. Since you're home, I'm home. We have to go big. Same thing with the people at home. What will you allow for? Walk a little slower to the car before you put the car key in. Notice something. A flower. It's been there the whole time. Look up at the sky. We tend to not do that. Admire something. Give gratitude to anything. Attitude of gratitude. Here we go. And let this one really be a big whoosh. If you can catch a wind in the room, ask all your angels to make it really good so that you jump up, run to the thermostat and be like, is the air conditioning on? Are my windows open? What just happened? Watch the brain react to this one. Here we go. Just a little more cosmic love. And how was that?
Yeah, it was interesting. Almost felt like sun on my face, actually. It was interesting. Like it got
That's so
warm
weird you
on my
said it.
face.
I'm, I'm pulling back now, but somebody else used the word sun in the last 24 hours. I'm always a blank, but somebody described it as a big sun. I've never heard that before until twice now in a period of a day or so. And that's crazy that you said it. So, but oh well, maybe somebody's going to type a comment on your show and say what they felt. And emojis work. I have such, we were almost at 500,000 views on my channel, and people are so darn shy, and it's okay. I get it. I was
Yeah.
shy I'm still shy. It doesn't look like it, but um, do emojis. 5 emojis count. Just make them good.
Yeah.
5 of the same. Yeah, just that's it. This, do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Comment what you see or feel or experience with this because this is absolutely amazing. I'm totally stoked to see what other people feel. So, yay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So now you said you took, just for clarification, you took physically yourself all of the pictures that you've shown us and all of the
Yes.
ones on your website of the cards that you do?
Yeah. If it's light energy form, yes. There's thousands of them. I had a bunch of books out. I pulled them off because what's the point? Where I think I put about 100 photos per book. You can just, if you're playing ball with your dog in the yard at the beginning, there's just a couple balls of light. And as soon as you really have a good time and appreciate your dog's point of view, which is just, oh my God, this is the best. I love my daddy. And you're throwing ball after ball. If you took another photo, it'd be snowflakes everywhere. And so I can show one from a concert. It was either M83, almost the lone alternative successful band out of France of all time, or it was Two Door Cinema Club. I'm not knocking French music. They've just been trying awfully hard for 20 years. Put a comment if you want to support French music and dispute what I just said. Another way to get a comment. It could have been Two Door Cinema Club, I think out of Ireland, I've forgotten. One of those European bands. And so here I am enjoying the concert, and I had asked about this. I didn't ask who killed Kennedy, but Angel said, I had asked if everyone had a camera, would everyone have gotten the shot? And the answer was like 1/3 or 2/3 of folks. You got to be here. So here's the shot from the concert. Sorry about
Wow.
all the glare. And look close, there's some down low. There's Joy in the middle, the pink ball light. The
Yeah.
purple one just above her to like maybe the right is Claire. And my crew is right in the center there. But people could put their hand up and feel the vibe. Go ahead and put the hand up, D, if you don't mind, and feel the vibe. But breathe through your mouth extra, turn up the volume. Allow and ask angels to come in to feel the vibe, but make sure you feel it in such a different way that you're like, wow, I just felt it in a different way. It feels like 10,000 angels. Did you get it?
Yeah, it's like I know I keep using the term sparkly, but it was a different kind of sparkly this time. Not like the fireworks sparkly, but like more, more sparkly around, like colorful sparkles, I guess, if that makes sense.
Sure. I can do one more thing, but you're not going to say a word out loud. You can nod, but we won't know what a nod means because it's not a word. It's not confirmation. We'll never know. But for the gung ho ones who have had the Kool-Aid, had some experiences, and you don't care, people can see an angel standing right here named Joy, 28 years old, blonde, jean jacket, upscale dress underneath, no wings at first, then ask for wings. Once you get that locked in like a tractor beam, it'll look like Star Trek. She just beamed in, bam. Why not? What do you think the 60s Star Trek was really all about? You think the Captain Kirk Spock team was humans? Nope. We're the ones on the planet they're visiting. Prime directive not to interfere. It was to break us in a little bit. But the point of this is you can see her standing here at Omega Institute, 3 women, 2 women. I don't know. This is 2 years ago, 2022. They saw her as brunette. So don't listen to me. They can do any Hollywood cast look thing. But why don't we do this? If you're at home, you're doing this. Why don't you close your eyes, D, for 1 second? And then at home, close your eyes if you're going to do this. By the Peloton bike, somehow you can see her. And I'll count down from 5. Then you can see her, have her unfold her wings. But more importantly, ask a question, get an answer, get a hug. You'll see her waving hi, hear a high, peppy 28-year-old voice, and then see how long you can hold it. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No triota. And D, just privately ask a question. Enjoy, audience at home. We'll just take 20 seconds for this. You can play it back. Go for a walk, see her by a tree, sit on the grass, sit with your dog, hold your dog's ears, hold your dog's paw. Let your dog benefit from your spiritual growth, that you start petting your dog 10 times a day more. That way, the dog's a winner for sure. And come back, everybody. You're good. Look up, see light on your ceiling. Close your eyes, see light on your eyelids if you're going to be really shy. D, can you give us a nod that means nothing? We don't know if you did it or didn't do it, although before the show, we might have had a chat about this. So we'll leave it at that. Ah, there we go. So anybody who knows Dee is going to know how to read the face. So you can't play poker with her because you're going to clean her bank account out. But getting back to the topic of spirituality, what are we supposed to talk about next, do you think? What do you want to hear about?
Oh, you mentioned Native Americans in our pre-chat. I'd love it if you talk about that a little more.
So, hey, they exist. I didn't know any of this stuff, but Dull Knife, Red Shirt, Geronimo, Crazy Horse, Black Elk, Red Cloud, White Buffalo, Calfwoman, Chief Joseph. Hope I didn't skip anybody. That's as far as I've gotten. Total unconditional love, kind of treetop level, can answer any questions, super sacred. You can catch a scent in the air: tobacco, sweetgrass, juniper, cedar, pine, one of 50 cents. A lot of times when you need help, you're going to get reminders just to breathe, allow more, be you, be at peace. You know, smile more, think less, laugh more, think less. I'm recounting all the millions of times I've heard that over 13 years. I still have a sheet here from just 5 days ago. I'll give you a sample of checking in with the crew. Penelope and Angel is my chief healer. Don't ever let her take you shopping with the Charlie's Angels trio of Charlie, Cherie, and Cece, all French sounding. They will clean you out. Take $1,000 cash, take 500 to 200 cash, whatever is your shopping thing. Cut the credit cards up. Don't let them have access. They'll find you the coolest stuff. Penelope said swim time. Heather said flower time. Joy said I'm with Joy. Charlotte always looked forward. Dull Knife was encouraging me, Native American chief. His original name was Morningstar. Don't let others' words pull you down, because I still catch flack like everybody else. I take stuff too seriously. I'll do a couple more. Manifest, don't overanalyze. I mean, I'm a thinker like anybody else, and holy cow, I've been checking the bank account, and for 13 years I've been doing this. I feel like I'm an ultra marathoner at the Olympic level now. I had an Arcturian come in. This is going to be a lot for folks because I didn't even know the galactic. I mean, I knew the galactic stuff existed for
Yeah.
10 plus years now. I've seen, I'll call it UFOs, whatever. But I had no way to reconcile or relate. So what do you do with it? Two quick examples. I go for a run. This is probably 12 years ago. I just remember the Patriots are playing the Miami Dolphins. I love the NFL. And it's full daytime. So it's an afternoon Sunday game. And I'm in a neighborhood in Austin, really wide California roads. And I see a pinpoint of light go all quasar or whatever it's called. And it goes from bright white to dark, bright white. And it must be like 20 cities away, 100 miles away. It's a little pinpoint of light. I check, I line it up at a treetop to make sure it's not an airplane. And then I did another red-blooded American move. I grabbed two people walking their dachshunds who are tech executives, pulled them over into the conversation and said, what do you think that is? They debated it for a good 7 minutes before declaring UFO. And I love how I handled that one. I started running more towards it. And then I was like, you know, maybe I should run home. Got home, shut the windows, locked them, called my aunt in Florida, and had no way to reconcile that. But they look, 4 years later, I'm in a backyard with someone else, significant other, and just sitting there. And we see two red balls of light go by that are, this is before drones and wasn't drones, and it was really pretty. But I'm panicking and I'm asking Charlotte, what do I need to know? She goes, you don't need to worry about it. Well, it turns out they were from Orion. I finally got the answer a decade later. No
Nice.
big deal. Survived. Yeah. And angels, some, not all, some are from here. You can meet Audrey Hepburn. But some have galactic origin stories. They're loved today all the way. It doesn't mean a lot of galactic figures aren't love and above as well. I'm just saying angels, it's kind of like Green Lantern. If anybody saw the really kind of not so good Ryan Reynolds movie, you saw all the people wearing the Green Lantern outfit at the superhero headquarters for Green Lantern, but they're all different species. I think that's the best way to relate to it. Or if you like Star Wars, the cantina scene from 1977. But here, they're all angels are just here to share love, wisdom, help you on your soul's growth. Can happen over many lifetimes. And there's little mini missions when you learn something, you think you're done. There's no getting your homework done early. You just get 10 more assignments. So it really sucks. You can't be like that type who's like, yeah, I did everything. I'm done. No more
Right.
learning ever again. That's normal humans. We do the best we can to get stuck for 10 years, 20 years. Could be through success. Why would
Yeah.
I ever want to learn a modality or learn a new sport or do anything new? Or a death in the family, you lose your son and
Yeah.
you're frozen for 30 years, broken record over and over again with spinning. And so
Yeah.
that's all of us. Welcome to being human. So back to this, Arcturians exist, Pleiadians exist, Illyrian exists. More domestically speaking, I love how I said that. There's two Atlanteans, there's Lemurians, there's this, there's that. Just stick with a few angels, maybe a few Native American chiefs, maybe, Indra, Krishna, Lakshmi, Ganesh, if you like India. They're all wonderful. Plato exists. Thank God I didn't say Pluto, not the dog from Disney. Plato, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Socrates. There's the sock from Peaceful Warrior. I'll leave it at that. You can meet him. I think he's an angel. He'd probably tell you he's an angel, but you got to have the direct experience to get the experience. And so this is all a direct experience. You're practically kicking me out of the way. And here's how we know there's something up with this last little mic drop moment. If your twin sister does it and you do it and you're both getting along, you can do it jointly. Joint seeing, joint feeling, joint hearing, and not just one angel, but like a Native American chief, three angels, your great grandfather, or whoever you knew that you missed that passed not yesterday. They can't die in an FBI shootout yesterday. You got to leave them time to reconcile, and then you got to get permission from angels, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So you want to be respectful on that. But so joint seeing means kind of off the hook. It's just here. Watch the reactions, though. I mean, if I could, I'd go run under the couch and hide under that couch right now. There's no way you can grasp this. I tried to grasp angels for 10 years, and here's how far I got. I can tell you they exist. Trust that this is so. Your answers, groovy hugs. The hugs are incredible. Ripples, 4 million ways to get a hug. And colorblind people have seen color. I've never had enough experience with thousands of folks. I've only had like 3 colorblind people to do some sort of quote test or survey.
No,
Can anybody have it undone, unwired? But there's a lot of stuff that's written. There's some stuff that's not written, which means angels can alter your path. You have to have that dialogue, that conversation. I don't see people's questions or their answers anymore. I used to go over all that. And what's the point? This is like riding a bike and having a dad who sits on the bike for 10 hours and is like, here's how we ride a bike. Watch me. That's today. That's mankind. That's all our knowing. It
yeah,
precludes possibilities. Last time I checked science, you and I discover something. We wait 2 weeks. We got out discovered and it's gone. Our
right.
science is like infinitesimally tiny and nothing. It doesn't mean don't do your homework, kids at home, do your arithmetic, your calculus. But at a universal level, there's a knowing that's beyond all that. That like if 18-year-olds right now wanted to start engaging the universe and listening to angels, they can enter into astrobiology or physics or microbiology or whatever, and then shred all those industries or those sciences and go blow right through by having chats about anything, quantum fields, you name it, warp drive. Just you have to be able to listen. I'm talking basic listening. It seems to be in a short commodity today with all the conflict going on. And I don't think I'm the only one alone noting that. And again, it's good how it is. You
Right.
choose where you put yourself. But I have a quote from Archangel Uriel, who I know is today one of your favorites. If more people would listen, less conflict would arise in any given situation. Hard to
Yes,
argue with that one.
it's very true. And like truly listen, not listen to answer, but listen to hear what the other person is saying.
Wait, what'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Exactly.
All right, here, I'll do one more show and tell thing or whatever you want to call this. Here's a regular American Bic lighter. I'm not going to burn my finger this time. Just name
Good.
any color you see in the flame. People at home, hey, you got to be in your heart to do this. You can't be like going to the casino for the first time and you're like, I don't know how to play blackjack. I'm going to lose everything. I'm not suggesting gambling is the good metaphor here either. But just name a color that you see in the flame. Gold, yellow, white.
I see
Some people get
gold.
smart
Yeah,
out
and
and
the
say the
little
blue.
sparkle at the
Yeah,
beginning.
good. Now let my finger be the lighter, and you're going to see my light off of this. But of course, you're going to have a really good dad joke to go this crazy. We're not drinking peyote, ayahuasca, doing drugs, anything, but do something to let go. I'm not looking at home. I can't see you do the chubby checker. Do that in a supermarket. Who cares about angels and anything I've talked about today? Just do chubby checker in the supermarket and some really cool the way you would do it for the audience. If
Yeah.
an 80-year-old starts laughing and 9 other people, by the way, and get entertained, you made their day. You might have made their week. You might have changed the course of their life. Here it goes. Breathe and relax. See a little flicker of light off at the end. And here's my dad joke for everybody. Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's Ernie say? Sherbert. What do you see coming off my fingertip?
It was pink.
Cool. I can do a story that someone else gave as a story in their show as a guest at this end. It was a beautiful story. They're waiting to check out. I think they're in the UK, and the woman ahead of them had bought one extra item beyond their budget, so they don't have the cash. They got to return the item, and so they didn't have to leave the line and stall the whole register. The woman in second place decides to hand over a pound, a dollar, a euro, whatever, and complete the transaction for her. She has no idea what's going on in the woman who's had the panic about this, their life at all. And then when the second woman temporarily dies with a near-death experience and has a little life review before coming back as a human and living in the end, she's shown that that was one of the most significant moments in her entire life timeline. How could that possibly be? It was a huge act of love that rippled throughout the globe. She could have never known about it without a near-death experience. So don't try that at home. You don't need to know. You just need to trust more, allow more. That woman was in a financial bind like you've never seen. Well, like every other person in America today, because the economy. What are you going to do? She turns the corner as of that moment because of the goodwill, ends up starting food banks. She couldn't pay for her own food. That was all the money she had. She was broke. She started food banks, the whole network of food banks. I think it was a nurse, the second one in line. So I still don't remember who told it. So credit to her for telling the story, and apologies for me for retelling it. But that one ended up passing it on to others big time. Food banks for the poor and needy, for those needing assistance. How incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. We don't realize, I think, sometimes how things just keep rippling outward. It's just so beautiful to me. Yeah.
Love more, allow more, smile more, breathe more. Good luck with any of that. There's thinking, thinking, thinking. And did I mention thinking? And most of what we're doing is even more egoic thinking. But I mean, I think. And I can do a quick passage. Permission to read a 30-second, 45-second passage from my little
Absolutely.
Listening to Angels book. Okay, if anybody thinks I wrote this, you guys are the best. I would sign an autographed football if I was an NFL player and send it to you, but not in the budget. And I'm not an NFL player. But this is an appendix in the Little Listening to Angels book. It was $4.99 forever. Now it's $7.99. I asked for 8 years to Angels. Can I raise the price? And they finally said yes around January. My apologies. You're going to pay $3 more. $7.99 now at Amazon. Listening to Angels, Michaelandreford. What's up with mankind? Why angels now? Awareness for mankind is on the horizon. Call it a spiritual awakening if you wish. It's a chance for all to grow. Mankind is ready for more unconditional love and compassion for all. And more compassion by all for all is needed. Mankind is ready for change from rat race mode. Happiness is obtained in the absence of ego. Again, good luck with that. Ego is afraid to be vulnerable, to let go, and to be in the unknown. Again, there's nothing to lose and nothing to gain here. Move past seeing the negative. You have it all right now.
Yeah.
Compassion can be taught through one's actions. How? Slowing down would do a world of wonder for most people. Doing it consistently is where the problems and opportunities lie. So stay present. Start right now. Letting go means less thinking. Do not get lost in perceived tasks, roles, ego, etc. Being in the moment itself is to do compassion for all. For individuals, an egoless path would be great, but it's just not realistic. Allow ego to serve as a reminder when it pops up, a reminder for what you decide. How about a reminder to breathe? How about a reminder to enjoy each moment as it comes? Believe that all moments can be the same. Whether it's a moment at work or a moment looking at nature, all moments are the same and peaceful. Only thinking something can interfere with this. And good luck if you're in the middle of Ukraine, you just had your cousin diagnosed with cancer, your car was wrecked 30 seconds ago, is smoking, you're somehow alive, or anything else. It's really hard then. Likewise, there are not separate paths for mankind or separate worlds for individuals. One is one. Through awareness and owning the consequences of one's thoughts and actions, a person begins to see how all of life is truly interconnected in one. Faith in all, religious, non-religious faith, faith in all can lead to a change in mankind. This is the path for all of man. This is about man bringing peace and joy to all. This is about your personal growth in your life and finding the next stage in your soul's development, as well as the continued evolution of mankind. The greatest gift is allowing all is growth and change. This is frightening for some. There's nothing to do here. Slow down the doing. Instead, breathe, smile, and relax. Appreciate all. Last paragraph. Compassion for all is life. This is also about acceptance for all. Regard others as yourself. generously and without fixation. Believe in all. It's much simpler than people think. Again, this is because this is not about thinking, but less thinking. Open yourself up to life. Speak with us. Angels wrote this. Speak with them. Be.
Yes.
And that was it. What do
Yes.
you think of that?
Yeah, I love it. It's so, I mean, it's me. It's my message, that that just yeah. And yeah, speak with the angels. Speak with the angels. They're ready and waiting for us to ask them questions and get answers and ask for their help and just be reverent. I mean, that I feel like that's really super important. Just be reverent.
And I like Winnie the Pooh. He gives some of the best quotes and is in a way an Eckhart Tolle, a Don Miguel Ruiz, um, Wayne Dyer, name the best, Gary Zukav, everything else. But Winnie the Pooh's got a couple quotes. Everyone, everyone talks to animals. No one listens. That's the problem. And I
Right.
would add, that's the opportunity. So we're all one weighing all the time. And most of the time we're one weighing out of the ego, the brain, judging. If you could see it as a ray gun, we're like little kids firing off red, which will make red bad somehow. Red, 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 judging. The guy cuts you off, the jerk at work, the jerk neighbor, the this, turn on the TV, politician that, politics in the UK, this, that, laser beams everywhere. When was
Yeah.
the last time you heard love, unconditional love? You cut somebody a break, cut yourself a break, watch rainbow light sparkles, unicorn sparkles. Let's make
Yeah.
it really cheesy. So there's all that. Exactly. And then Winnie the Pooh had another one. Piglet asked him, "How do you spell love?" And he said, "You don't spell it, you feel it." So it's all about feeling here. Feel what you can feel. Most of us are pretty dead.
Mhm.
And we're deadened and not picking up much vibration, happy vibes. We've tuned out. As a kid, you were like a wide open receiving thing. And there's some people who are empathic who are picking up everybody's stuff. It's why they're ill all the time. They got no concept of
Well, I'm
boundaries.
not ill
They
though,
don't,
thankfully.
yeah, but they can't make it stop. And they're like, I need boundaries. And you just have to ask angels to come in and be like, hey, I need 5 nights worth of night university classes to learn boundaries, whether I learned it or not in my thick brain during the day. But I
Right.
need you to run interference, and I picture it as an invisible ball of light around you that's only positivity, love, and above coming through. No more picking up other people's empathic things and having it like a tank shell ricochet around inside the turret of the other tank. I mean, it's crazy what people put themselves through just because they're a little more sensitive than some other people.
Yeah. It's really true.
Yeah.
It's really true. And one of the things, like, because I am a super strong empath, so I had to learn how to shed a lot of that stuff. So what I do, and I teach other empaths to do, is to do a scan of those emotions and ask yourself if you have, do one by one and ask yourself if you have anything in your life that would make you feel that way and need that emotion. And if you don't, then it's not yours. And you can send it back to where it came from, transmute it as love. And it just shifts everything. It's amazing.
Yeah. And send it to Russia, Venezuela, or China. But if you want to
Yeah.
be truly compassionate, send it to outer space. So
Yes.
I can put up Geronimo's photo, older Geronimo, compassion, action, dry wit, humor, talks like this, improper English. Sorry, not the right way to say it. Not formal, yes, no, proper English. He's more like, yeah, duh, you already know the answer, just do it. He's on everyone's team. He's like a lightning bolt. If you're sensitive, this should kind of penetrate you.
Yeah.
You should be like, oh, I'm feeling him. Ask him a private question, get an answer, get a hug, catch tobacco, sweetgrass, juniper in the air.
Mm.
What are you hearing from him, D?
Get busy.
I rest my case. He can finish the answer before you finish the question because he already
Yeah.
knows what's coming. You got no privacy, but you're not getting judged. The difference here is that true love allows for everything to be as it is right now. Guess what it already is? If you're resisting it, I'm not saying you don't defend yourself in an alleyway, although
Yeah.
that Peaceful Warrior movie, they got ambushed, 3 guys, and
Yeah.
you'd think the gas station attendant, Mr. Miyagi figure, is so good at kung fu, essentially. He could have taken them all down, but he decides not to do anything. He's like, hey, these guys need our jackets, they need our wallets, need our cash. And as they're walking away, he goes, well, what about our watches? Because they're already walking away. They're free to go. They've been stripped of just jackets, wallets, cash. And he goes, well, wait, what about the watches? And the 3 guys turn and they go, watches? He goes, well, actually, I don't wear a watch, but Dan's got an expensive one here, the poor gymnast. 21 years old, gets screwed. He loses his watch when they were already walking away, and he wasn't going to have the watch stolen. He was going to keep his watch. And then after that, he's like, well, he's got good shoes, and it looks like you're a size 9. They're down to their skivvies at the end. The teacher is like not kicking their ass, doing the opposite. He's like making sure they get stripped down to the skivvies. Then you see him walking along. I think it's a deleted scene, and there's a bus stop. And he looks at the people at the bus stop, and he goes, though he just makes a comment that isn't judgmental, but he goes, some people choose never to live. And he looks at the bus stop. You feel bad for the bus stop folks. And then he makes a comment about death, that it's not much different than puberty. Like, it's just a transformation. We get really worried about things. And he's
Right.
talking about don't approach stuff up here. You have to see it to understand it and read the book. And I've watched the movie, I'm going to say 40 times. And every time I'm an idiot. I'm like, oh my God, I never noticed that before. And it changed for me. And I'm like, I love the movie and I love
Yeah.
the book. But the gymnast asked him, well, how are you going to get home? They took all your money. And he's in his old 1950s, those tank top undershirt things. And he goes, what bus driver is going to, not allow an old man to get a ride home? And sure enough, the bus driver's like, get on. So it's a cute film. It's very much like Karate Kid, but for adults. People should enjoy it. If anybody needs another Angel movie, Angela, Angel-A, Luc Besson, filmed 2010, black and white in Paris. He's the guy that did Transporter series, Joan of Arc, The Professional, and then one that it's in my pocket that's a black and white. You can find it on my website, michaelandreford.com, but go to the suggested reading, go to the movie section or the extras tabs, because I've got Lucky Partners, a whole webpage dedicated to it. Ginger Rogers, #1 actress in 1940 when the movie was made. Ron Coleman, #2 actor, #1 Hollywood director, Louis Milestone, 4 years before It's a Wonderful Life, which was a little dark at one little point in the movie.
Mhm.
So if you want up and up, just fun, I argue it's a Guardian Angel movie. You need to watch it. There's kind of a theme throughout it. You asked for it. And so I would challenge everybody watching to ask for it. What does that mean? Just tell the universe, tell angels, tell your relatives, your ancestors, tell your cheerleading squad, hey guys, I'm ready. I'm asking for it. It's been a long week, a long month, a long 10 years, long 20 years. This happened to me, that happened to me. I need some kitten caboodling. And we don't even know what that means. I need more love. I need more sparkle.
Yeah.
I need my je ne sais quoi old self to come back out. That was the happy-go-lucky me when I was 10 last week, 2 years ago, when I lived in France, when I lived in Idaho. Only you can do your own figuring out, your own joy, your own happiness, but it doesn't hurt to ask for a little help and allow for it to come in.
Yes, absolutely. Beautifully said. Yeah, just ask for that help. Speaking of asking for help, Michael, if people would love to have you work with them on a one-to-one level, how do they get in contact with you?
The website, Michael Andre Ford, it's got a services page. You can check out the services offered, stuff like that. It could be hard to stay the course. Don't forget, thinking's going to pop in and it doesn't want you at all costs to let go of what you know. But you can always start with the little Listening to Angels book. That's $7.99. It's not going to bust the budget. 2 cups of coffee, maybe one if you live in a big city. That's probably a 15-20 minute read. It's got a 1-page forward, a 2-page appendix at the end, or no, it's called epilogue, and then the appendix is maybe 3 pages. I'd argue it's 20 minutes of your time. It's 7 angels. I can do it. 7 angels with photographs of all the angels, including Archangel Michael, and they explain how to listen to angels directly. You don't need me. It's been #2 twice at Amazon. No one gets to claim I'm a 2-time #2 bestseller, and Anita Morjani penned a review. So I think that's pretty unique right there. Plus, who does photographs of angels? These are real photos, like interdimensional. I just got groovy lucky back in the day in a complete panic.
Yeah, I love it. It's so awesome. Thank you so much, Michael, for joining me today. Do you have any last words for our listeners before we close for today?
You have no limits, but that's not going to help. If in any way you react to that, that's okay. But that's where you're putting your limits. We have a thinking parameter that's going on invisibly all the time. It could be about the automobile, about the work situation. I can't find love. It could be about the lost relative. It could be about this, about that. We're doing it all the time and it's subconscious. So find a good healer, find one of those therapist types, healer, intuitive types who can help you maybe jump over your fence. I'd argue you've got all the abilities in the world, more than James Van Praagh, Hollywood medium Tyler Henry. You have no limits. You've got the ability to do basic listening. just do a little hello, Joy, are you there? And if you can at least feel a whoosh on you, you did it. You're in the
Yeah.
pool. You're actually Michael Phelps or Mark Spitz or whoever these famous swimmers are. You got 19 gold medals here. If you would just go to the mirror and say, I love you 1,000 times, you'll start to see your gold here.
Yeah. Yeah. Self-love. That's one of my favorite topics too. So that was a great thing to close with. So perfect. So thank you again, Michael, for joining me today. Thank you everyone for jumping in and listening through this episode. I know you found this so fascinating. And if you would love to work with Michael, I will be dropping his links in the description box below the video. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. I love you all.